the hands of Agent Zero, I actually think that there may be a lack of damage. I feel like there, unless Hades just snowballs out of control, then they might run into a brick wall, because that is an old sickness or an old syndrome of Blacklist International in whatever configuration they may have always has. Now, as compared to how fast Aura might go, let's see how quickly they can burn up. That's a quick purple take by Hades. And yeah, no, he's even behind the Lancelot. Maybe a second or two behind.
This is what we want to see. These early rotations, and even Edward decided, to shove himself right up to the side of the map after pushing the EXP lane as expected, but they're completely giving up this little wander. They don't care about it, because at the end of the day, it's about the snowball and how they set up for it.
Yep, Blacklist sitting with about 100, 200 gold ahead here in a minute's time. A turtle coming up soon. This is a lineup or a matchup we haven't seen in quite a while. The Fredrin and the Lapu-Lapu. And then up top, it's, of course, the Filipino sniper going up against Kabuki on this Claude. Interesting to note, Kabuki, throughout his career, has played in the XP lane as well, played a little bit in the jungle. So, yeah, you can expect that he understands these matchups. Now, Hades, spotted by Van. Astral Meteor shot out by High. Oh, wait. Hitman looking for one. Interesting to note, what happens when Renegade and Hades find High?
It's not going to be easy, right? Because usually in these matchups, you're really afraid as an overall Enchanter-style mage, and arguably even just regular mages don't like to deal with Chote. The single lockdown is always good, but the fact that you don't have as much gold as you usually do in the mid lane makes you very susceptible. You don't have the base stats. Let's see how they play out this situation, right? Again, mages down by the EXP, looking to hit level 4 right now as Van and Edward will go head-to-head for now. Hades, he's going to come in a little bit later, but now 4 members covering this turtle. Edward almost getting it, but it's going to go over to Van. Retribution just that much more important. The whole time, Hades on the top side of the map.
That's right. That's a call that Blacklist International made. And this is coming from a team that was coached by Coach Bonchan, is currently being coached by Coach Bonchan, who was very vocal about turtle trading throughout even MSC. So now his wisdom says, you give up the turtle, they're not going to be able to use it. You take their orange, and then you continue with your rotations.
If I remember correctly, it was Coach Bonchan who quoted, it was in Tagalog, so I'm not 100% sure about this. You can confirm, double check and confirm for me. He said it was a side quest more than it was a main objective.
That's right. No, he recalibrated what teams made up or their mindset for what the turtle really means. And now here's a kick by the Hitman.
The Hitman already finds one with the Way of the Dragon. Renegade is able to get back out, but Reza quickly steals and goes for the real-world manipulation of his own. Renegade is low, and finally we see Van finding the first kill of the game. No casualties on the side of Aura Fire.
I hate to say it, but I called it. Lack of damage. Hades was overloaded. There were just way too many members of Aura Fire there. And what? You can call it target acquisition. You could call it just sheer mechanics. Just the rules of the game going against Blacklist International here. Homie's rocking Master Assassin. He wants isolated members, but there were way too many Aura fam dudes there, and it just didn't lead to much. Another go.
Yep, on to Kabuki already with a cutthroat. Hades, he's very close to getting it, but Renegade on the opposite side by Tribrush already finds an opportunity as Oheb should be able to clean this up against Van, but no, Van, one more auto attack, able to puncture backwards and knock him out. High, gonna stop Renegade, but that's a 1-for-0 trade in favor of Aura Fire again.
Again, deja vu. Same situation as mid, right? Just the mechanics, and now maybe introduce a little bit of timing. It looks like Oheb did not calculate for what if Van played with the perfect iframes and he found it, which buys Aura Fire here a 15k, approaching 2k gold lead at 4 minutes, and just the same as the first turtle, it's Aura Fire first on the scene.
Yeah, I mean, they got the information with the Novari. They already used the Astral Echoes. They knew for a fact that Haji was going to go for a recall. They know at the very least that Hades is going to be on the purple side. Not even a contestation, as Padalevi is able to just mark Hades. They've had all the decisions made for them.
This is a difficult game for a Fanny. Yeah, despite it coming through to the draft in perfect timing, it's just not performing right now. Yeah, it's so easy to say that we can isolate High. We can find Kabuki even before he's able to farm up comfortably. Hell, even Reza isn't going to have a great early to mid spike to help build up to what they eventually want. But No, Aura Fire just welcomed him. Now Van diving in.
Yep, he wants his bat. Oheb ends up dying regardless, but Hades in the back starting his work on towards High. Runs out of energy, is forced to get back on out of there. And another 1-for-nothing trade in favor of Aura Fire, who have now started to build their lead to a 2.2. But it's the Hitman who kicks back High. It's the real war manipulation. Good synergy between the two.
That's right. It looks like this is the first win for Blacklist International in this 5-minute-and-a-half game. And here's Hades trying to repair the situation. Clear the wave, starting to kill on Van, and the shutdown.
Yep, good commitment from Hades, even utilizing the retribution. He realized he may have missed an auto attack, but he can still recover from it. And that's what you're hoping to see from Blacklist International. 2-3 right now, at least making sure that Gold Leaf doesn't run away from them. Renegade, good way of the dragon onto Kabuki's side, but he's able to walk away from it with that Purify to make sure he doesn't take the full amount of damage.
Renegade's way of the dragon cooldown is on a timer, more than just what the game shows. As soon as it's up, oh, I want to find something. I want to get that in. And just like that, good time for us to actually check in on the item game here. Haji yet to die, the KDA machine, rocking his Ice Queen 1. So again, despite the rocky start for Blacks International, they understand that we should still stay on the offensive. I'm not going to build first item brute force breastplate, all right? And for the Aura Fam this time around, you can see that Reza already has a COD, so it's a slow snowball, but he's eventually going to get there.
Levy, Bravest Fire to get back on out of there. He knows he has some artillery fire from High, and now that it's done, RWM also going to come out as well. Big ultimates, especially since on the top side of the map, we're seeing that the turtle is already getting chunked down with Blacklist. Again, not even trying to make the attempt just yet. Wait. They do get a reset on that top side.
Yep, it's a cleared wave, and I'm feeling a lot of pressure on Edward's shoulders, man. Agent Zero is anchoring on through. There's Reza, waiting up. Nope, not gonna happen.
Yeah, not
Astral Echo from High spotted what they needed to do. Yeah, no, again, wherever Edward is, I think that's where Blacklist has to say, you know what, we don't have to worry about that.
He is going to be a absolute rock, an anchor, in a matter of fact. Hades trying to take as many camps, but again, Van is just not letting him play the game.
Yep. Looking at what Van has gone through in the early game, now going into the mid-game power spike. Edward looking for one. Does he know Hades is here?
Yep, they're going to go on for a full-on brawl to try to steal it away. Oh, Renegade gets a really good way of the dragon, and they secure the kill with the RWM. Kabuki makes his attempt. He cracks open the mid-tier 1 at the same time, so despite Van dying, they still got a trade back in the form of a structure.
Yep, before he died, Van was already rocking some tough boots, helping with the CC mitigation, Thunderbelt, and Warak. So yeah, this is as snowball as it gets. He just really wants to confirm kills and just go ahead and whack away whenever he finds a good target, which puts Aura Fire here 2K ahead. 2 turrets down as well. And even if we are sitting at 3-3 at 8 minutes, it looks like Blacks International are working on their tempo. They understand that, yeah, we are behind. But yeah, if Renegade gets a pick-off, we get the most of it. And so far, I'd say it's a, what, 60, 50% hit rate on the Hitman's attempts.
He finds the kicks, but doesn't necessarily secure the kill. Like you mentioned, there is a bit of lack of damage. You have to have the right components at the right place at the right time. Kabuki losing 60% of his HP to a single cutthroat from Hades. They try to finish him off, but now RWM and as well as Blazing Duet, Oheb doesn't make the shot. High still able to outplay it for now. Good movement overall.
Yep. It looks like they're going to continue pressuring bottom lane tier 1. It looks like that's where Blacks International says, you know what? Oheb needs some farm. This is where we're going to get it from. And that's the long lane. So I'm guessing they made this smart choice so that it's not so easy for Aura Fire to, despite this big lead, dominate through that turtle. Or rather, Lord take now the kick. Oh, protecting it for Hades. Good guy Renegade.
Good guy Renegade, round 2 by the purple buff, and I think that's totally fine for Van. They know for a fact that Aji doesn't have the real world manipulation. They don't have Cho's Way of the Dragon as well. This should be an easy take for Aura Fire unless Blacklist International is able to find a different angle here. It's getting low, 20% already down. Blazing Duet's already out. Hades, he finds the opportunity, doesn't get the steal, has to back away, and even Edward cannot maintain this sort of pressure.
Oh, man. You know what? We mentioned it earlier before the game even started, right? Blacklist may have some built-in chemistry already. Something to note. Edward coming in here, this is not the usual. We were expecting Dominic,
Yep.
who helped them run through MDL. Hades just came back from Indonesia. He's on loan from Geek Slate. So, yeah, despite them being friends for a while, this is still a relatively new lineup. And I think that's what we're seeing here. That's why Blacklist are down. They're behind 3K here.
I'm feeling like it's a trend, to be fair. Every time we see a team and they have a certain expectation of them, the moment they start changing their lineup ever so slightly, I mean, Aura Fire being the exception, they changed it like way beforehand, before they even got to this stage of the game. But Blacklist International, we were hoping for more, and right now, we're not just seeing it just yet.
I don't know. I think Blacklist International have to repair the situation. They have to polish what is there already in a matter of minutes, right? Especially since Lord is marching down through top lane. I can expect this to go down. This is going to be a major objective taken away by Aura Fire. Oh, fight when it happened.
Yep, they get the kick onto Palevi, but that's really not the target. You can see the damage isn't there, and he's not even in the bravest fighter form just yet. They slow push on the top side. Hopefully, if they can get an inhibitor, that'd be incredible for the side of Aura Fire with a consistent pushing lane, but Edward's going to say no, and Aura Fire has to back off.
Yep, it's at this point that wait. Oh, that's a fight that Haji thought they could pick off, but maybe not. Blacklist International going to go on straight into split push mode. They're going to try to open up the map, and not only is it Edward who's going to be the anchor, but even Hades. He's going to start cutting waves and making sure that there is some way for Oheb to get some waves in and maybe share a bit of the jungle.
Oh, Hades hops right over the wall with a cutthroat, instantly pulling him off. He was also throwing his cables backwards just to look that much cooler. Woo, what a move.
So signs of Aura Fire being a little too lax maybe. They have won a majority of their engagements in the early to mid game, but now you have to always respect the fact that Hades, who's now currently rocking a Blade of the Seas and Malefic Roar, will most likely still melt most of Aura Fire, given that they only really have one solid bit of peel. It's just Palevi on the Lapu.
Yep, that's as good as it gets, other than the RWM. But we need to talk about Reza right now, because he has just been a silent killer, making sure that he's stealing the RWM to trade back against Blacklist. And here we go, third round of that purple buff. Good third hit of Jeet Kune Do, but now Kabuki's in that back line already with the Blazing Duet. Edward is low, and Palevi is able to tank that damage, looking for the kill. Edward able to flicker out of there. Renegade already lost his life, but that means a good amount of battle spells have been burnt. Flicker from Reza, Purified coming in for Kabuki.
Aura Fire just barreling on through, using that 4K gold lead, showing Blacklist International that, yeah, you may have caught us off, maybe 1, 2 apiece, but no, if there's a majority of us here, your Master Assassin does nothing, and that you are still outgunned. Hades making the most of that long lane away from Aura Fire's free Lord here. It's now Luminous. So yeah, this is where we can start to expect, if Aura Fire does go through with it, maybe a penetration, maybe a push up top once more.
Yeah, you mentioned it, you called it. They are going to go into split push mode. But at the same time, Aura Fire, with the lead that they have, even high, is quite the threat to Oheb. He's got a lot of skill shots to dodge. And even worse yet, he has to deal with someone who has iframes and can easily access the backline. Once again, Van, again, you can tell, just the level difference alone is making it tough for Hades.
Yep, that's 15 to 14. Again, sometimes that one level gold lead just makes a difference between retributions. Hades is lucky that he's able to taste a little bit of his purple buff as compared to some choke-style gameplay, some choke-style moments in the late. Now, they're going to try to melt the Lord. This is something that at least Blacklist can rely on, their high ground defense. But this is when Aura Fire gets the green light. You know what? Hades has been tasting purple a little too much. Let's take this away.
Yeah, they should have no chance of taking it. More importantly so, just the constant spheres coming out from high. He is just keeping his eyes on Oheb and forcing him to recall as much as possible. If not Oheb, at least Haji, because they're the two who are the high ground heroes, the ones that can clear the waves the fastest.
Yep, so in perspective, the fact that it's Oheb and Haji who is gaining the most gold for Blacklist is a good thing, but if they're behind all 4 members of Aura Fire save for high, then maybe it's not such a good situation. So yeah, reality check, Blacklist not in a good spot, but it's not like it's over quite yet. This is a huge lead, all right? And Aura Fire, despite them being a new lineup, seems like they have it figured out. there's a synergy diff here, definitely. I can say that.
Yeah, real big synergy diff. Not to mention that OHEB, despite dying twice, coming in at third place in terms of overall total gold, pretty impressive, right? I mean, let's look at the damage and see where he stands. And right now, OHEB, right at the bottom, because he hasn't been able to participate, it's obvious that from the lead that Kabuki and Hai have had. Hai, I mean, he's just going to continuously harass you day in, day out,
it's
right?
free.
Why not? Just take the damage. It's so free.
Yep. And of course, Kabuki, who is a little more open and just bullish to actually dive in with a blazing duet. And again, I think OHEB, 50% of the time in this 15-minute game, has been rocking Renner, right?
Oh,
wait, there's a catch?
I mean, he tried, Renegade doesn't get the right angle, and now he's going to get punished with the blazing duet. Not just yet. It's going to be the bravest fight. Here we go, the blazing duet in that back line, getting all the resources and even a Purify to ensure that he lives. Edward left with no support whatsoever with his steal on the way of the dragon from Reza to put him out of his misery.
All right. That was Blacklist just getting run over. I just have to say, again, you don't look at a 5K, 6K goal lead and say, maybe we can. Maybe we can. But as honest as Blacklist was, no matter what potential setup Renegade may have found, again, something tells me Blacklist aren't on the same page.
It could be one. I don't know if because Coach Bonchan's overall style, is it going to lean towards, let's see the duality of man, let's see a different side of Blacklist rather than just go for that military style with Wise and Oh My Venus of playing it slow.
Gideon, I'm not even considering coaching staff here. We saw a little bit of that earlier, right, with the turtle trade for more objectives elsewhere, but now in this situation when you're down 8K, when you can't even leave your base, you can't call coaching, right? So this comes down to just you guys, just a 5. And here it's so hard to go up against Aura Fire. We're in role per role, position for position. You are down, you are behind. Where do they find it? We've yet to see Edward pull off Agent Zero things. I'm not so sure if it's possible with an with a Fredrin. And with a situation like this, they do find a kick.
Yep, they find the kick. Oh, Bennett's range deals more than enough with a quick cleanup coming in from Hades. And they finally find the pick on towards Van once again. Aurifire is going to keep up with their siege, and especially with a Luminous Lord on their side, they want to at least guarantee an inhibitor turret. The siege is going to continue, but here comes Hades. He's waiting for the right opportunity. Kabuki's going to back away. He doesn't want to get into the middle of that pile. Levy is taking way too much damage, and now tries to run away, but Edward's not going to let him in the meantime. On the opposite side, we do see that Reza, he's got the way of the dragon. He's ready to pull it off. Palevi still alive, and Edward doesn't want to keep on doing this. The damage from Hai is really starting to stack up.
All right, it looks like they have been able to clear.
Steal.
A steal, yes, but better with black than elsewhere, right? Now Kabuki spotted by Hades.
Uh-oh.
All right, BMI out.
All right.
They're okay. All right, so now we're from worse to bad. All right, so Blacklist have recovered quite a bit, but it's still not a good spot to be in. They can still build back up, and if there's any hope to hold out for, right? Blacks International, you can change the names. You can change the lineup, but this is still a majority of Blacklist Prime, who was known to take it all the way late. They have a rubber band mechanic within their own base. So yeah, the fact that they're still keeping their inhibitors is a reason for the agents and a reason for the Filipinos watching to still hold hope. This is a little bit of a hopium for y'all watching. And yeah, they have shrunk a little bit of the lead. Yeah, even OHEB and Kabuki just 1,000 behind each other.
Yeah.
Despite how much OHEB has struggled so far.
I'm surprised how much goal Hai was able to actually generate for himself, right? It just shows you the value of the mystery shop overall. I mean, the scoring line 5-6, 18 minutes into the game, the goal lead is about to not matter anymore. And I think Blacklist International are in a position where they can really turn the tides.
Yep, and something to note about Hai's arsenal here, Hai's build. Homie is rocking a brute force breastplate. So he knows that someone's going to come get me in the back some way, somehow. So I cannot rely on my pathing and my MS boost via the second skill. So I have to protect myself. So yeah, Astral Echo here, looking for Aura Fire to set it up. Van gonna try to steal it away.
Bennett's Rage is already out. Van gets on out of there just in time with a third of his HP still available. But this means that at least one of the ultimates from OHEB is down. Still a majority of their spells available. Wait, Hades has used his Retribution. Van is currently at a 16-second. They can start it first and look to finish it when Van has his Retribution back online. So they're going to take their time with this. They want to get it somewhat low, but not at a point where it can be stolen away.
All right, let's see. Let's see if this Blacklist can dance. Let's see if Aura Fire can get away with just barreling on through. Oh, it looks like Black's made the call. They're not going to contest.
Yeah, they're not even going to try. You can see down by the bottom side, Hades is just clearing up that waves. They're waiting for the next one.
All right, there's no dance if the other does not consent. If the other says, let's dance, it's not going to happen. So they just take it. And yeah, 100% of all turtles so far going over to Aura Fire. 4-0. I'm afraid to say it, Gideon. I'm afraid to say it.
Don't. I would suggest don't, because this is a best of 3.
All right,
they still haven't done. Not yet. Not
okay,
yet.
You know where I'm going with this.
I know where you're going with this,
and
brother.
folks watching, y'all know as well. It's the Aura fam, but right now, big Lord, Evolved Lord marching on through. Palevi jumps in.
Makes the attempt with Raven's Warrior, gets the RWM out of Haji, which is great. Now Oheb is trying his best to clear this wave, but this gives an opportunity for Aura Fire to get right on in. Big ultimates are down, 2 battle spells as well. Edward is taking way too much damage, ends up dying, and Renegade the next to fall. His immortality is going to keep it alive, but it allows Kabuki to get into the middle of the fight. Does he have his Purify? Yes, he does. Already used the wand as well. He's going to die on over. Gives the kill to Haji. They've done what they can, and now they're on the run. Reza, good kick on towards the right targets. That's going to be Hades down.
And they are struggling to stay in this. Oheb and Haji, the only ones left. They're going to clear this wave. Oheb's very low. Can Van take him? Yes, he does. It's just the KDA machine left.
I mean, Haji, he's running out of mana. He has to go and at least touch the fountain. Van, he's got more than enough damage, but no minions to work with. The rest of Aura Fire are quickly rushing on over. The closest death timer is Edward, which is 9 seconds. Keep in mind, they need Oheb to guarantee the clear. Haji trying his best with the real-world manipulation, focusing on the minions, but the second one is coming, but Haji flickers out just in time. Edward is coming back up, and Aura Fire decide to back away.
Woo! Big SpongeBob Psy meme. Woo!
Oh my
Blacklist is still in this. I could have sworn when I saw that big fat wave coming through bottom, this is it. But Agent Zero comes back in the nick of time. And not just Aura Fire makes the discipline call and says, you know what? Lord's coming in a minute. We can force another engagement and play this the clean way. Let's see the instant replay of how exactly Aura Fire cleaned out the mid and bottom lane and just forced Blacklist into this tough position.
Yeah, it's tough, right? Kabuki goes super deep in this fight. Was it necessary for him to do that? Because I felt like they should let Vaughn be the guy to actually go in deep.
I think this is just Aura Fire making the call and saying, you know, we're way ahead. Let's force the issue. And they were so close. If anything, maybe 15, 20% to actually closing that gap and winning.
You make a good point. You make a good point.
I see where the risk may have paid off.
True. But let's not also forget that Vaughn, he's got damage built into him, right? He's got the Endless Battle. He's also got the War Axe as well. El Hybrid. I like that. I like that term. I'm going to steal it for a while. As Lord has spawned, this is where Blacklist needs to make a difference.
Yep. You see here the checklist of Lord's dance. You have to clear the long lane, and then you have to make sure that you're winning that, and then clear mid as well, so it's safer for you to just make rotations elsewhere. And yeah, this is where Edward and Renegade are super important. They're super key. They have to set up the dance so that Hades can just run in.
Edward, he's already dashed Palevi. This is looking very, very good for Aura Fire right now. Hai is going to take control of that right side, but instantly they try to go in, but it's a quick winter truncheon from Palevi to dodge the damage. And now the back line's going to get taken by Vaughn. He has his immortality, so it's totally fine, but Kabuki has an opportunity, but no, they go back, but no, they also reset the Lord. Guys.
All right, now we have a dance. And what's interesting is Hades was very far from the dance floor, the actual dance floor. And what this buys Blacklist is a chance to reset, a chance to go again one more time. Haji still has an RWM, has yet to die, living up to his KDA machine name. And, ooh, Aura Fire, they're building back up. Reza still has his IMU, so that's going to be key. Whose ult does he steal? Takes the kick.
He takes the kick. This is important because they're trying to keep Hades out of the pit overall. They're getting very, very close here. Renegade in the middle of it. It's Lafario who takes the Lord. Renegade loses his immortality, gets the kick with the backline, getting attacked by Reza. As he's on top of Oheb. Immortality popped. Edward tries to slow him down. He's dead. Winter Truncheon, fast hands from Reza. Still dies regardless to Hades, but they're getting chased down one by one. And Van, he doesn't care about it. Unfortunately for him, Oheb has that Haas Claw to keep him alive. Hai, again, not hitting as many spheres as he wants to, but Haji, wow, KDA machine. His flickers have been so very sharp.
2 for 2. Aura Fire still coming on top of this. And just like that, another high ground defense of Blacklist has to somehow squeeze themselves through. This is living on the edge if I've ever seen it, and Astral Echo hits all three.
Yep. You see Levy, Race Fighter. He's going to use it very early on, looking for the opportunity. Still has his flicker available. He could look for the stun, and yes, that's exactly what he wants. He gets on top of Ohem, perfectly takes him out. Beautiful play coming in from Levy, giving his life for higher here. Now it's going to be a 2v2. Nope, make it a 2v1 as Hades going to try his absolute best, but no, it's done for Haji. He has to use the Winter Truncheon, and that's going to conclude this game. Falling into the hands of Aura Fire, 14 kills.